Hey guys, my name is Shayla and I make these videos every Wednesday. My channel started in 2015 when I was traveling full time. Now I'm pregnant, so we're going to talk about pregnancy. I just did my pregnancy announcement video 2 videos ago and people are very opinionated about it. They are angry that I'm just going to talk about pregnancy now. Like, well, this is my life now. The other thing is I said that we were doing the natural method, and a lot of people were like, she's dumb. She did the natural method and then she's surprised she's pregnant. Well, I understand what you're saying, but you can use the natural method to try and prevent pregnancy. My cycles are just they vary a lot, and so now we're pregnant. And so in the video, we were both very shocked, and people were like, they don't want to have a baby, they need to get married. It's like, well, no, actually, it was just really surprising. And now we're really excited. So, and I think normally these things would not bother me, but my hormones are like, whoa, why are people so mean? That's not what this video is about. But if you do want to watch my announcement video or my weird symptoms in the first trimester video, I'll link those. But this video is about the symptoms that I was having when I first kind of got like, oh, can I be pregnant? And I remember, well, I guess there's 2 things I want to say about it. Thing number 1 is everyone's symptoms are different. So I watched videos and I was like, now I don't have any of those symptoms and I was pregnant. Or I'd watch videos and be like, she's speaking to my soul. It's a weird, stressful time because you have to wait to take the test, but you don't want to get too excited, or if you're trying, or you're like nervous that you could be, and you're looking up all these symptoms, and a lot of the symptoms are the same as getting your period, which would mean that you're not pregnant. Super confusing, but I'll share with you some of mine. I wrote them down, so I'm gonna keep looking down to reference them. Yes, I'm sitting on the floor, by the way. First thing is I had cravings. Like, I always kind of thought that cravings were bullshit. I was like, okay, you're just like, I can eat for 2 now, so I'm gonna have all these. No. It's not, oh, what do you want to eat tonight? And I'm like, well, I don't know, I'm like Mexican food. Or I want miso soup, or I want whatever. So in the first 2 weeks, I wanted tahini on everything. And I said this in the first video of like weird trimester things, or weird first trimester things. The fridge just shut off. Well, that's nice. I wanted tahini on everything. So much that I was like, this is a lot. Why do I want tahini on it? Like, I finished a bottle. So cravings can be something that's kind of weird, or just aversions to food. When you find out, so technically when you conceive, you're at week 2 already. That was kind of something that was confusing to me. I found out on day 23. So that would be like 3 weeks. Your period's day 1. A week later is week 1. Usually you conceive around week 2. And then I found out a week later. Anyway, so cravings is something. And then moody. I'm typically a pretty level-headed person. I don't get too moody. I'm kind of like pretty chill in general. Not this time. Seth kind of said, because I asked him to help me with some of these, he's like, you were just very quick to get angry at people, or just very quick to respond in an emotional way, and you were just like kind of fiery and really, because we were working out and he did something and I was just pissed. And I don't know, I went to a party with my sister and I came home and just started bawling, and I was like, I don't think they like me, I don't fit in, like crying. And that's just not typically what I'd be like, oh, I don't know, I just don't feel like I fit in, or they don't like me or something. The feeling's usually right. It's the emotional response that's a little bit elevated. I had to pee a lot. I always have to pee a lot. So this has kind of been a thing for me always, but I had to pee a lot, like more than usual. So that could be a symptom. So when I say we did natural planning, or I did natural planning, not natural planning, natural tracking. There are 3 things that you need to check. If you are someone who's not into TMI, you can stop now. If you're like, oh, what does this have to do with? I'm not gonna go into all the details because you can Google it and there's a lot of information that you can find. But basically there's 3 things you look at. You look at basal body temperature, which is your temperature first thing in the morning. So you literally, before you do anything, roll over, take your temperature, automatically go on my phone. So it would track my basal body temperature, and when your temperature spikes, that's when you ovulate. Then you can track cervical fluid. I'll let you Google that. There's just different consistencies, and it means like you're pregnant or you're not, or you're about to ovulate, or different things. And then, I don't know what they call this, but like cervical tenderness, I guess. So like it's either feels like the tip of your nose or your chin. And so you can kind of tell if you know these things ahead of time. You have to start tracking it before you're pregnant, because then you're like, oh, this is soft, this is hard. And if it stays soft, then you're pregnant. So like these kind of things that I could tell from my body, I was like, So I wrote it down. I ovulated on day 12. I had a negative pregnancy test on day 19, but if you watch my announcement video, there's a line, and you will go absolutely insane looking for the line. I had another friend who watched my video that was like, I will never be able to take a pregnancy test the same again because I will always just look for that line. Not happy with you, Shayla. And I was like, sorry. Then I don't know why, but I just took another pregnancy test on a random day. Well, probably because I had these symptoms on day 23. And that one was like, girl, you pregnant. There's a book. I don't know what the book's called. I'll look it up and I'll link that below too. It's so interesting to me, just like how everything works and what it tells you about the females, it tells you about the males, it tells you about all the things. And it's just so interesting to me. There's a book called Mindful Pregnancy, and I would highly recommend it. It's made by the Headspace app guy, and it just kind of tries to coach you through just relaxing fertility or letting your pregnancy happen in a healthy way or whatever. So that's another book that I really, really enjoy. Those were my symptoms. I hope that this was helpful. I also hope that you can just try and relax, because I know that this waiting period is not fun. So all of my love goes to you, and I hope that you are doing well. And if you want to check out my other videos, I would love that. If you want to subscribe to my channel, it's going to be all about the pregnancy and giving you real tidbits of it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!